Good evening. My name is Joanna Kim. I serve as the Executive Director for the Stanford Center for AI in Medicine and Imaging. I'm joined this evening by Dr. Ala Youssef, who is a postdoctoral research scholar here at the Stanford AIME Center. And we are both co-directing the AIME High School student programs. And so we're delighted to meet with you this evening and talk to you about our flagship high school programs that we have. This is intended to be a Q&A session. It's an informational session, but we really would like to hear from you and any questions that you may have as we present information about next summer's internship program, as well as our bootcamp program as well. So please feel free to drop in questions in the Q&A, and we will have a Q&A session later and get to those in just a bit. But as we start, we want to give you a quick introduction to the AIME Center. As I mentioned, myself and Ala, we are leading the student programs, and our director for the AIME Center is Dr. Kurt Langlotz, who is also a radiologist here at Stanford. About Stanford AIME, very quickly, we are a center here in the School of Medicine, but serving the entire university. So we're a community of scientists and clinicians working together to solve real-world medical challenges using AI. Our mission is to use interdisciplinary expertise, interdisciplinary AI in areas like medical imaging, bioinformatics, computer science, and we really look at how AI can be used to innovate and transform healthcare across specialties. Our home base was imaging and radiology, and we are now really supporting AI research as well as implementation in many specialties across medicine. For our high school program. So high school programs is very interesting and very exciting. This started a few years back when we were getting contacted by a lot of high school students who are really interested in opportunities for internships and other types of educational opportunities through the center. And at that time, we were really supporting mainly Stanford students for internships and other types of engagement opportunities, but we had so many students reach out to us, and many of them were so eager, excited with very advanced technical skills as well, looking for opportunities to really grow in their technical skills, but be able to apply that to something extremely meaningful like medicine. And so from that, we created our first internship program that was a 2-week summer research internship program. And it initially started online, mainly due to the pandemic. But what we quickly realized was having a 2-week virtual program was really fantastic because we were able to easily bring together students across the US to collaborate and work together on projects. And it was just a fantastic way to start our internship program. From there, we started to have annual internship opportunities. And then last year, we launched our Summer Health AI Bootcamp, which is actually a different type of program than our research internship. So we will be diving into the differences of these two programs. But the bootcamp was very complementary, as it is really a way to dive in and learn a lot about AI in health and medicine, even if you have no technical background. And then also, those are two fantastic summer opportunities, but we also started hearing from students that in addition to summer opportunities, is there a way to really continue learning and growing in your interest for AI and health and medicine throughout the year as well? And so last fall, we launched the Next Gen Tech Talk series, which is a webinar format. It's every 2-3 months, and we bring in just very famous subject matter experts with clinical backgrounds, technical backgrounds, but people that are working in the AI and health and medicine space. And it's really fun. You hear career journeys and just career development advice and wisdom, the research that they're doing, as well as a live Q&A as well. So that's a summary of our high school programs. And the Next Gen Tech Talk series, we have one coming up in January, so we will be sharing information about that as well. So you'll see here the main summer research programs, and the reason why we're gathered today is really to be able to share information about the summer research internship and the AI bootcamp. And now I will pass the platform over to Ala, who will be going over some of the details regarding the internship and the bootcamp programs. We will go through the information. We are also reviewing questions that are being dropped into the chat and the Q&A as well. And so we will cover this material. We will get through as many questions as we can. And a recording of the session will also be available. If you need to drop off early, don't worry. We hope that you will stay, and we hope that we can have an engaging conversation today. But for any reason, if you need to review a recording, this recording will be posted as well. So, okay, Ala.
Thanks so much, Johanna, for this intro, and it's great to see everyone. So I'm kind of seeing in the chat questions, but also reminders to upvote questions that you think are common that you have. This will help us kind of address those questions as we come to the live Q&A. I believe as we go through the criteria, we'll kind of address most of the questions. So maybe let's overview of why there's two programs. So the summer research internship is focused on candidates who have the technical skills and are able to dive into machine learning projects right away. This kind of internship is including didactic information, followed by working in a group to kind of build on a project, and there's career sessions. The boot camp is more for audiences and candidates who are interested in exploring what is AI, machine learning in healthcare, but have not yet delved into either the clinical or have not delved either into the health aspect or the technical aspects of it, and would like to get an introduction on where to start and kind of discover their area of interest in that space. So both are excellent programs. There's no one that's better than another. It's just both are two different programs. Now, the summer research internship, both of them will run between June 16 and 27th. All programs starts from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. We have people at different time zones, but this is what the time we operate on. So if you are applying from different states, we expect you to kind of be able to meet those times. The program is fully virtual. There's no in-person components. And as Johanna mentioned, the reason we have specifically selected this is to allow for diversity of candidates and students to apply across the US. The internship is unpaid, and that means you do not receive a stipend for participating because you're not doing research. There is a fee for participation, and the reason there's a fee for participation is building those programs really require a lot of infrastructure and resources, and we are basically requiring the minimum that help us allow and enhance the capacity and the number of seats we can offer given the demand on the program. So what are some of the things that will happen in the internship? So usually you're going to come at 9 a.m. There is a lecture on AI in healthcare, and it's parallel to the project you're working on. So one day you will learn about, building, a computer vision pipeline. Another day you will learn about, NLP and the use of NLP, and what type of tasks do we use NLP for. You'll be applying some of that to your project, and that's ongoing. There is an instructor, and there's a number of instructors actually, and a team lead who is, a seasoned graduate or master students who kind of like work with the team to kind of ensure that any questions they have is answered. And many of us as instructors who are doing research and postdocs, we kind of are hands-on as well, jumping between rooms and teams to make sure any questions are addressed. We also do, Q&A and check-in throughout the project to make sure each team is meeting their milestones, and if there's any point we can troubleshoot, we can address that, so every team is kind of on track. And then the program complements with a presentation at the final day of the closing ceremony. So each team, let's say if we have 5 or 6 teams, then each team is presenting their project and pitch about what they did over the 2 weeks, and it's more of how the presentation is mostly about telling us what did you did in your team, how did you approach the problem, and how did you go around it to solve it, and it's really fun. The lunch and learns happens between 12 to 1, and the reason we have the lunch and learn is we want you to be able to listen to diversity of speakers from different sectors who have gone to pursue different career tracks, all related to AI in healthcare. Some might be physicians and still AI scientists, some might be in industry, some might be in government, some might be in policy. So there is really ample opportunities and ways on people making their trajectory to AI in healthcare and making impact. So what are the eligibility criteria? The eligibility criteria for this is we are only accepting students who, as of September 2025, they will be entering grade 9 through 12. The age must be above 14. And in the internship, our selection criteria is fair. It's basically mostly based on technical competency, and the technical competency is on which how we rank applications and we select. Of course, we have a number of technically, once the technical aspects is fulfilled, we then look at the other aspects of the application in terms of GPA and other components to determine and rank based on that the waitlisted candidacy. Again, the program is full-time and require commitment for all 2 weeks. You cannot, if you anticipate that you will not be able to participate for 1 day or a portion of a day, please share that in advance, because that's a key, fundamental attendance criteria. And only the program is accepting candidates only within the US at this time. Next. So the boot camp, again, as we went about, so the boot camp is really fun. The boot camp is about, yes, we're not doing on coding on hands-on, but we are actually discussing topics. We are having guest speakers. We are having key topics in AI, and we are discussing key fundamental questions and concepts. Some of it is you're reflecting on some videos you're seeing before class, and then we're coming to discuss. Some of it we're watching together and discussing and having a conversation around. Really, the feedback from the bootcamp in last year has been outstanding in terms of how people really engaged and really loved the conversations and the different aspects and angles. We also do like research journal clubs where we kind of like bring different research papers and try to kind of address that. Some students might take the lead on presenting or summarizing to the group what they really came out of those papers. And this really has enriched people's perspective at an early track on what part they're interested in and where on the technical aspect they would like to begin. So if you feel you don't have the technical skills and would really want to understand the landscape and kind of hone which aspect you're most interested in, bootcamp is a good place to start. And then from that, you can move on future to internship if you're interested. Similar criteria apply. You have to be entering grade 9 as of fall 2024. As the fall of 2025, that's a typo. And age should be, again, above 14, full day, and again, only US applicants at this time. Next. So if you scan the QR code, and as well if you go to the AMY website, you will see, complete list of what is the application requirement and eligibility, and also there is a brochure that will accompany that will make it very easy for you to be able to see the comparison between the two programs and which one is a better fit. The key components of the internship application. So here's where it's important to focus. There is two aspects that differentiate internship and the bootcamp application. Now, the internship application has a component on demographics, academic history, but there's a big component on technical skills and accomplishments. And that technical skills is not, my advice here would be to be authentic to what type of coding experience you have. If you have worked on machine learning projects or have worked on robotics or have worked on something that's technical, tell us about that. If you have links to share about that, please share that. And then there's short essay questions, and these are just to understand more about your interest. What are you looking forward to? Is this program a good fit or not? And then we have, a short kind of case study. There is no right or wrong answer here, so please do not ask ChatGPT. Do this on your own, because either there's multiple ways you can answer that, but it gives us a good perspective of how you think about approaching problems. The key application deadline date to keep in mind is Friday, February 28th, and there will be no exceptions to expect any applications post that deadline. So we urge you to apply early. One important note to note here as well is with respect to the internship application. When you're considering academic history, please be careful when entering the GPA. Consider whether your GPA is weighted, unweighted. That component is going to be vital, so please make sure to get this right. And it's important also to note that there's no changes that can be made post-application submission, and we will not be able to respond to questions around status of application before the announcement of the results date. And for both the internship and bootcamp, there is a scholarship. So as you fill in the application, if you feel that you are eligible for the scholarship criteria, please do proceed with the application, and you will be considered. And if accepted, we will proceed on the scholarship. So the fee for completing the application, I believe, is $35 to $40. It's distinct from the cost of the program if you are accepted. Nothing is paid up front. The first just component that's paid front is the application fee, the processing of the application fee. And then if accepted, there will be follow-up conversations and communications around the payment of the program to complete registration before the start date. Next. The bootcamp has a similar component. And by the way, you can have technical skills, and maybe you want to know more about healthcare and you want to join the bootcamp. You're so welcome to. And it focused more. You also tell us about your accomplishments, and there's more of a short essay questions that we're still looking forward to hear from you on what interests you and why you think the bootcamp will be a good fit for you. And for both, you will need to upload your resume, so make sure you have this in your transcript. My advice is to have almost 30 to 45 minutes for either the bootcamp or the internship application, where you can sit and focus on completing the application, have your resume and your transcript ready to submit at that point in time. So you do this in one sitting, and this deadline is exactly the same date, February 28th. Next. I believe. Yeah, so here's back to the cost. So more on the fees and the financial aid. So each application costs around $40 per application. So when you complete the application, you will need to be able to kind of check in the box if you need a waiver, or you will have to complete the transaction for your application to be processed. And then if accepted into the program, there's an $850 participation fee. If you are not eligible for financial scholarship, you will have to pay this amount. If you're eligible for a financial scholarship and meet the scholarship criteria, make sure to check in and meet the scholarship criteria, because they are specific. Once that is met, when we process your application, we will be contacting you to arrange for the scholarship and the future payment or no payment. So we want this to be accessible to everyone, and we want this to be an opportunity for everyone, regardless of cost. We want you all to be participating, so please do not feel deterred by the fact that there is a cost to the participation. Next slide. So here, if you scan this code, and maybe we'll keep the slide for a bit, if you scan this code, it's going to take you to the booklet where we really have Michelle Fang, our program manager, have really put this, and it's really great in how it shows you a comparison between both programs and the criteria. And so it should be very clear as you look through the booklet on what is the program like, what is the expectations, and what is the difference between the two programs. And I think at this point in time, we would be able to answer questions. I'm going to take a couple of common questions, which is, what technical skills are we looking for? What qualities or experiences do successful applicants typically have that help them stand out in the selection process for this program? So these are excellent questions. First of all, technical skills, we are mostly using Python. So it's most important. It would be great if you have others, but most important for us is Python. Doesn't need to be that you have done machine learning and healthcare project. Doesn't need it has to be in a research lab, but if you have done a research paper, or if you have participated, or if you have worked on robotics or something related to technical coding skills that demonstrate your ability to code, that is important. Why, again, this is important is because from day one, we are not going on to covering the basics of coding. And so everyone is expected from day one to be able to to dive right in with their team. And what has happened previously is when we try to have members of the team with different technical skills, that keeps some of the teams in advance of others. So to ensure everyone is on the same page, we really are doing this so everyone feels that they are having a great experience and everyone is learning and moving at the same pace. So the technical aspect is purely looking at coding skills, previous projects you have completed that demonstrate that you have those technical skills. Now, what qualities or experiences? I would say authentic, authentic and genuine responses into why you're really interested in the program. Examples that shows, why you really you're truly, not a cliche kind of statement of why you feel the program is important, or you want to get, we understand, recognize how interested everyone is, and we definitely would love to kind of have as maximum capacity as we have. But there's something around what makes some candidates stand out is really what they want to gain out of the program. So be specific. What do you exactly want to gain out of the program? It's okay if you see that this program is helping you to kind of, apply for competitive programs, or see your future in engineering or in healthcare or in medicine. Just be specific on what you really are looking for. That is what makes, candidates really stand out. And again, if you have accomplishments other than your machine learning projects or any technical projects, do share this. This give us, a sense that how well-rounded you are. Have you participated in team projects before? So I believe those are the two common questions. Now let's go to the Q&A. Okay, with the Q&A, do both programs work with the professor on research? Okay, so again, let's be clear, maybe here. There is no research component to the program. The program is the hands-on project is a project that we develop in advance, or we frame in advance. We know the end, we know the start and end of the project. And the reason this is this is a 2-week program. Research usually have a long amount of time and dedication. So there isn't interactions with professors or faculty, and there isn't interactions in research labs. It's mainly students are grouped before the program starts into based on the applications and how people are fit. We group them into teams. Those teams start from day one, getting to know each other and working together on the projects that are assigned, and they start to figure things on their own together with the support, technical and knowledge support. I'm going through. Michelle, is there questions that are, or Johanna?
Yeah, the questions I see here in the chat. So a common question that we're hearing is, how competitive is it to get into these programs?
So in all honesty, we will be, transparent. The program has been extremely, competitive in very good ways. First of all, the reason we continue to do this program is we started with the vision, as Johanna has mentioned. We wanted to scale the opportunities for people to gain, exposure to types of AI projects in healthcare. And first year we started with 108 applications, and then in subsequent years we have been getting applications in thousands. So, the application bar has raised because there's a lot that, I just want to reiterate that doesn't mean people don't get in, that they are not meeting the criteria. So many people meet the criteria, but we always have the tough decision of our limited capacity. And part of is always our thinking each year is how can we expand our capacity to take more students. This is why we generated the the next Gen Tech Talk. This is why we're trying to expand both the bootcamp and the research internship. So the programs are competitive. The best way to get in is to be, again, authentic, as well as to apply to the program that's best fit to you. If you are not on the technical aspect, then focus on the bootcamp. if you have the technical aspects and you really know what you really want to get through, please go ahead with the application. There's also one aspect of we try to balance the application. So we take from grade 9 to grade 12, but we try to give the junior and freshman an upper presentation, because we know that these are critical years in their high school. So probably if they're not participating at this point in time, they want to take it into their applications. So sometimes, but again, we are taking across the different, the all categories of groups of applicants from freshman to junior to senior. And then I think there is the research program mainly for students with or without prior research experience. The program is not catered for medical students or people who want to pursue medicine. If you're interested and you're interested in AI, we definitely love to see that. If you're not, that's also okay. We have a number of our graduates who have gone to computer science at Stanford, Harvard, and beyond, who really wanted to take this to computer science and engineering and pursue this from a technical aspects. And so either direction all directions are welcomed. And I think, again, there is no prior research experience that is required. It's totally okay if you have taken coding in your school as a course and you have demonstrated that you have participated in some projects that shows that you're able to do coding.
Ala, one of the questions asks, I know you partially answered this, where it asked about, will students be doing their own research project with Stanford mentors? And as we discussed, this is more of a group internship project that has been identified. I would say that for students who come through a program like ours, there's definitely no guarantees, but at the same time, there are there can be opportunities that open up down the line to be to be able to do a different type of research project, a more individualized research project with Stanford mentors, once you participate in something like this. And again, it's not a guarantee, but Stanford faculty are, many of them are bombarded with requests from Stanford students, other university students, and so it's just not possible for a lot of the Stanford faculty to be able to bring on a lot of high school students to work on individualized research projects. A program like ours is designed to be able to give students that initial kind of research project experience, where you go through a project together with people that have, that are engaged in advanced research here at Stanford. And then, like I mentioned, it does open up some other opportunities down the line to be able to connect with principal investigators, PIs, and other faculty and other researchers who may be looking for student interns.
And I wanna be clear, as well as what Johanna has mentioned. All of the faculty are typically, are busy, and they have limited time to mentor their own undergrad and grad students, and so by priority, they're focusing towards their students. Even us as graduate students or as postdocs, one of the main challenges of research is research require a period of time, and it's very hard to allocate that period of time and without knowing the bandwidth of the research projects, because sometimes they go off the timeline. So that makes it challenging. But again, the goal of this is not to do the research. The goal of this is for you to gain actually the critical thinking skills and understand what are some of the challenges that we face in developing AI in healthcare. And if you were to go out and innovate and develop something, how are you going to address this challenge? So it's more of a good understanding of what is the things that are going to come, or if you're interested in building AI or using AI in healthcare, what are sorts of those challenges, and in what way your future is going to be addressing some of those challenges. Now, the project internship is heavily machine learning project. There's the computer programming is mainly the Python, but the project is highly involving machine learning. So you will build a computer vision pipeline, you'll build a NLP, and you will use models from Hugging Face. There's a lot of things. Each year we're kind of like having a different project. Now I see a common question, which is regarding eligibility, that people can apply to both programs. People can apply to both programs. However, I highly encourage you apply to one that you see best fits for you. applying to both programs makes it very difficult for us to kind of, unless we kind of see, if you see that someone who stands out in, in a technical aspect and really they fit in the boot camp, we will kind of like, let you know that, for example, we really think you'll be a great fit in the boot camp. Are you still interested in joining us boot camp or not? But applying for both doesn't make it very difficult for us to kind of really know what is the true kind of like, who are the people who really genuinely applying for the bootcamp because the bootcamp is their basic start point versus wanting to get to any of the both programs. So I highly recommend you really kind of deciding which one program do you want to be applying to and focus on that. I see other questions really.
Yeah, there's an administrative question regarding if you are accepted, are you required to attend? Of course, you're not.
Yes.
We can't force you to attend. If you're offered a SPY and you can no longer participate, then please let us know. There's always a wait list of students, and so it's helpful for us to know that as soon as possible. Also, it's just very important that there's full participation. So I saw a lot of comments from students where your school is not out until, the second day of the internship or somewhere, later in the internship. But full participation is required. We actually have never gotten a lot of feedback in the past. We've always held our internship in the last 2 full weeks of June. And so I'm really sorry for any of the students who, have your regular academic school year overlapped with that for this year. The full participation is required and is very important because the program moves very fast. We cover a lot every day, and so we need everyone there fully. There have been students in the past that needed to reschedule family vacations or other things like that. But if you apply for this program, it's really important to know how important it is to be able to fully participate. There's questions about the technical skills again.
Yeah,
the
I see
computer
questions.
programming skills, what's needed, how will we evaluate that?
Yeah, so I think also I see questions around people taking online courses. So, you might feel, okay, I don't have the technical skills. Can I take an online course? Definitely. But again, I think it's not meant to be a stressful component. Again, there's no, like, it's not, internship is higher than boot camp. It's just that both have different goals. And if you want to take, if you have taken courses, if you feel you have the technical skills, one easy question could be, if I give you a machine learning problem and I ask you to build for me a pipeline for computer vision, for example, or write a code, do I need to explain to you what's PyTorch? Do I need to explain to you what's TensorFlow? Do I need to, or are you able to take on, if I have a Colab notebook and be able to run with it? So it's very helpful if everyone can actually come in knowing those basics and refreshing on that. If you feel comfortable with Python, you're good to go. You don't need to have done hundreds of projects or even one project if you feel you have those competent and technical skills. And again, the case study will be, a way for us to understand how are you thinking about those technical aspects and questions. And to reiterate, the case study has no right and wrong answer, but the responses will give us a sense of, how your experience with doing machine learning or thinking about machine learning projects. There is a lot of questions about residency. The residency question is really tough, but there is a lot of paperwork and challenges for us to kind of really accommodate candidates outside the US. And so we are currently focused on US citizenship only, unfortunately. We hope, others can engage through the next next gen tech talk and other opportunities. We are exploring this deeply on how can we expand this, Hannah and I, but at this point in time, it's really limited to US applicants. Now, I see also a question related to, will there be any hands-on component of AMY given that it is all virtual? Everything again is virtual and everything is hands-on throughout the project. So if you think about percentage of time spent, you spent 70% of your day or 60% of your day in hands-on project. So That's the main component. So even the didactic lecture, it's just a refresher concept or kind of like high level. How do we evaluate, algorithms? How do we assess, how do we train classifiers? How do we mitigate bias? But it's on to you and your team to figure out, how are you applying this into your own project? So this is an important aspects of, the didactic is just a 45-minute lecture presentation, and most of the time you're spent until noon in your team group. With
Paula,
respect,
there's a question about why we've introduced a fee to participate in the internship and boot camp this year. And so I think.
Yeah, I think we kind of addressed that question. Again, I think we have been tirelessly working on scaling up this program. This is an additional program on top of all of our duties. We have done this out of passion, and we continue to do this out of passion, but we require resources to be able to scale this to a larger number of applicants. And most of the programs have an administrative fees to be able to process those large number of applications. We need bandwidth, we need resources, and so the cost is just purely to help us have those resources to be able to process the applications, to be able to build capacity and bring more instructors and more to be able to accommodate more students and teams. We are hoping to extend our internship spaces both this year and the boot camp. So we are continuously thinking of how we use those resources to expand opportunities for you. And the reason why there's if you have looked at any of the Stanford programs, all of them have a financial scholarship application requirements. And if you think about it from an equity lens perspective, we are trying to make this accessible to everyone. But at the same time, we cannot be offering the program completely without having resources to support how we launch this program. So it's a balance, and we kind of wanting everyone to participate. And by all means, if you feel you're meeting the financial aid criteria, please do select that, and we will consider you. Doesn't mean because the financial aid selection is completely different process than the application. So it's not going to influence your application results at all.
Yeah.
I see a question about bio. AP bio is not required. You will see a checklist of AP calculus, AP. We need to know what type of courses have you taken, because it helps us understand. So for example, now we're talking about technical skills and machine learning concepts. Well, understanding what level of, if you're a freshman versus a junior, what courses have you taken can help us understand, your level of mathematics on, how do you know how much, about calculus, for example. So some of it help us understand the demographics of the group and help us assess and make sure that people are of relative skills are on the same page. But it's not a, a kind of a checkoff box that if you do not have these kind of AP courses, all of them, then you're not going to be considered. We're just trying to understand the diversity of the group that's coming in.
There's a question about whether technical skills are required for the boot camp.
Technical skills are not required for the boot camp. What is required for the boot camp is truly tell us, why you want to dive into AI in healthcare. What excites you? What problem do you think you wish you can solve in the problem? Think about it. If you are to solve one problem in healthcare with AI, what would this problem be? Tell us why. Tell us how. This is what we want to learn, your story. We want to see what is interesting for you, and we want to make sure from the personal essays as we kind of bring candidates on, that we are tailoring the program to make sure it also fulfill your goals. So in the past, we have discussed the program, the bootcamp is structured to, okay, if I have, if I don't have technical skills, I feel, I'm not sure about where to get started. We start with you on the fundamentals. of what are the challenges with data for AI in healthcare, it's a really big problem. We layer everything onto what are the basic fundamentals of AI and machine learning. We introduce you to foundation models. It's by no means a deep dive in. We are just introducing you to the aspects if you don't know about them, and then it's on you to kind of build on those kind of knowledge and figure out, okay, I need to work on this type of projects, or pursue more education in that area to kind of like develop my skills. There's ample of online courses. So think about it that this is the boot camp is a place for you to have deep discussions, and share opinion and learn from others' perspective, learn from faculty, learn about what are the challenges that we are you know struggling with as we kind of like build AI in healthcare. And so it's welcoming in terms of education, participation, and low technical expectations, or no technical expectations.
Yeah, thanks, Ala. There's a question about, will there be opportunities to talk to researchers and professionals during the program? And the answer is yes. Every day, almost every day of the program, we do have a lunch and learn talk series where it's about an hour where there is a professional. It's a mix. So we purposely want a diverse group of professionals that speak to the students. So it can be a clinician researcher, scientist, someone from industry, someone from the business end of health AI, et cetera. So a diverse group of true world-class experts come and talk to the students almost every day. It's an hour. They present for a very short part of that, and a big part of the hour is really for a live, engaging, interactive Q&A session where you can really dive into asking questions that you'd like. And it's really hard to get to every question, but we do a really great job of getting through a lot. And so that's actually a very unique opportunity with our program, is that you have an opportunity to really be able to interface with faculty and other professionals that honestly, even if you're here in the field, it may be difficult to have to be in the same Zoom meeting with some of these people. So so there are opportunities for that. There's also a question on whether high school freshmen are disadvantaged, and we want to just be able to share that we definitely are looking for a diverse group for both the internship as well as the boot camp. And so don't worry about being a freshman, don't worry about any of that. If you're interested in the program, my suggestion would really be to apply. Yeah, and also there's a lot of questions, right, about how competitive it is and what the acceptance rate is. But to be honest, that changes quite a bit. And just like Ala said, we are really trying to scale and have more students be a part of this program while not taking away from the quality of the program. And that's really why we had to introduce a fee, is really to be able to have more students participate this year, and to still be able to maintain the aspects of the program that students seem to love. And so what that means is that the acceptance rate will be quite different this year than it has been in the past year. So I wouldn't focus so much on that as much as, if this sounds like an opportunity that seems like a great fit, the dates work, it's virtual, so it really doesn't matter whether you're here local or not. But if it's something that seems really interested and aligned with your own scientific interests, I would say go for it and apply.
100% echo that. I would really don't think about my chances. I would not think about, you're just going to do your best. You're just going to tell us genuinely why you're interested. You're just going to share with us, and we are, it's about, again, why you're interested and how this aligns. And we are always trying to kind of scale this. So we don't mean to mean it competitive by, if you do not meet that threshold cutoff of like 4.0 GPA, everyone, then no, that's not how we approach that. Competitiveness for us is not based on, what is the top level. We absolutely try to recruit, people with high academic and technical skills, but our focus is not the numbers. Our focus is the story, and our focus is the goals, and whether your goals align with the program, and do we see you as a good fit that you will learn and benefit from the program. I want to say that there is outstanding people who have done amazing things, who the program is not going to be an addition to. And so it's very important to know that, there's other people, for example, who would have completed other internships, and they, they have already done a lot of things and have other opportunities. And people who kind of let us know before, the admission starts date that, they have got another opportunity they choose to pursue. So by all means, explore this opportunity, apply, and we are genuinely, thinking of that regardless of number, where it's coming from, who's applying, all of that. I see other questions related highly to the rolling basis, on whether we are accepting applications on rolling basis, or if you apply on February 25th versus applying on January 1st, is there a difference? The answer is no, but we encourage you to apply early, because we are not accepting, on a rolling basis, because we know, for example, if you need to require some paper, or if you need time to kind of get an application, we made a decision not to be it on having on a rolling basis. But if we get into, let's say 100 candidates that we think are eligible, that we need to take them on, some of the aspects of it, and all of them are exceptional, what is going to be kind of like, our kind of like timeline then of application will be, in priorities of when applied. But it's not, that if you do not apply by this date, or if we get an application tomorrow, we are going to accept this application and fill those spots, and once filled, we're not going to look at the other applications. We are going to not look at applications until the deadline date, and then look at all applications, score all applications, and then we have a committee and a process through which we select up to 3 levels of selections, and then based on that, we make a final decision around the number. And again, we are expecting to increase our capacity for both internship and the boot camp. So please do not be, feeling, like it's a very high bar. It's not. And the other question I see that's common is if students can give suggestions about the projects, or what are previous example of projects. So previous examples of projects. So at any center, we have, work with a number of data sets in medical imaging. And so we might use this, for example, to build up an algorithm that will predict, whether from a chest X-ray the patient has pneumonia or not. You need to train the algorithm. You need some annotations. You need to understand how to train a classifier. You need to understand how to differentiate between different types of devices, what could be leading to spurious correlations, which means, the machine could pick on something other than the true disease feature to kind of, make correlations between the disease presence and this, artifact, or this device. So a lot of it is problem solving, based on the type of the data. And again, every year we kind of add to it and kind of, innovate and build on the project. And then the last thing I'm going to say about input for students, we definitely always welcome input. Your input is going to come into your thinking with your team on how you want to solve and approach the challenge. However, we do not wait for suggestions, because as again mentioned, we have a very tight timeline. So we really have from day 1 to day 10, everything is kind of planned out in milestones, because we need to be on that to make sure that by Friday of the second week, everyone has completed their projects and ready to deliver. So that's really kind of just make sure that, you really benefit and you really get the most out of this project and in that timeline.
Well, a few questions that I wanted to answer. Someone asked about the Next Gen Tech Talks. And just to clarify, the Next Gen Tech Talks are open to all high school students. There's information on our website for upcoming Tech Talks. Past Tech Talks are available. The recordings are posted on our YouTube channel. That is a free resource that we are making. It's really open to everyone, but the focus is high school students. We have high school students who moderate the Next Gen Tech Talks. They are our former research interns. And so a few of the questions here seem to ask if you have access to Next Gen Tech Talks only if you participate in the program. The answer is no, those are open to everyone. And then there's another question about, are there any impactful things that past students have contributed to to advance AI in medicine after becoming a part of this program. And I'd
Yes.
like to say that, yes, and it's very exciting to see many students of ours go into top schools, top kind of computer science schools where they're continuing to grow in their passion and interests at the intersection of health and AI. And we have a number of students who come back to us. They contribute to these high school resources. As I mentioned, there's a number of students that are part of the Next Gen Tech Talk series. They contribute to the high school learning environment through the Amy Center. There's other types of resources that students have developed, different types of articles that they're writing on their own that we are amplifying and publishing through the Amy Center as well. So there's a lot of other opportunities for students to really dive deep, see that this is something that they're passionate about. If it's not, that's fine. But for the students who find that they really love this intersection of health tech, we're happy to continue supporting students, amplifying their work. And I know, Ala, you want to add something as well.
No, I think I just echo you, but also I have to say that, we also see the impact of students wanting to spread this education into their schools and, doing journal clubs in their schools and bringing those initiatives. So always, think of your broader impact in your community and, what can you do towards your school, your colleagues, bringing this AI chapter in. So people have been innovative in different levels. And as Johanna mentioned, even though they approach medicine, engineering, computer science, they contribute in different ways. And so really our goal for this, program is to ensure that you have a wonderful experience, that you feel excited, that you feel you have a concrete idea of where you want to innovate and develop solutions and solve problems in healthcare that are affecting all of us. So I think take it from that lens. And don't overthink it. And I think one question is related to, oh my God, one question is related to if there is no technical requirements for the boot camp, what determines who you accept? So for boot camp, what determines is the personal essay questions. So tell us in that, your story and, answering those questions authentically. And realistically, based on your level and what you answer is what help us understand what is a truly authentic application and a true genuine interest. And we get a large number and many are exceptional, everyone. So it's not based on any technical requirements. We are saying if you have technical requirements and you want to learn about healthcare and you feel, you have mastered the technical skills, you just don't know what problems in healthcare exist that you are interested to solve, by all means, please come in. You will contribute significantly to the program because you will enrich the discussion with students who are still trying to figure this out or thinking around the technical aspect. Both of you are everyone is contributing in different ways. And so it's very important to, not feel, deterred by technical skills at all. The internship is just focused on technical skills again because of the time and the scale of the project. My student.
Yeah, sorry. A few questions. Do I get a letter of recommendation? We do write letters of recommendation for our top students. And I think that means students who really come prepared. They do any homework or assignments. They're ready to discuss and engage. They are there on time. They are there every time they're supposed to be. And they just really demonstrate that they're being very responsible and taking this program seriously. They're absorbing the material. They're contributing to the community and the discussion. So, not everyone gets a letter of recommendation, but the top students who really engage do. And then also, there's a question about the boot camp and just what is that experience like? And so Ala went over this, but I just want to clarify. We base a lot of the curriculum on a Coursera course that our co-director has created. This is a fundamentals for AI in health and medicine. This course has been taken by thousands and thousands of professionals out there. And we take that and we just select parts of it that are very important to learning fundamental concepts, the critical considerations when it comes to AI in health and medicine. So there are fundamentals related to technical skills, but also how that applies specifically for health and medicine, as well as other critical considerations such as the ethics and policy and other types of aspects of this as well. So you get basically like the title, a boot camp, you get a crash course on very important concepts and principles for AI in health and medicine. And what makes this different from going and taking a Coursera course on your own is that you're together with a cohort of students, you're with a Stanford expert who will, teach the material, break it down, have discussions with you, and really bring in supplemental material as well, publications, relevant publications. We do journal club discussions. We do different ways of really helping you learn the material and learn it really well with peer-reviewed publications. So it's very much of a different experience than just going and learning on your own. And there are questions where, are there other similar programs like this? We're not sure. When we started this, we were pretty much the only program. So there wasn't a ton of benchmarking that was done, but based on the number of students that have applied and the feedback that we've gotten, we continue to improve the program, and we believe that this is a program that's really providing a valuable experience to students. And so yeah, that's how I'll answer that question.
There's one question I think that is coming along, and that happens a lot, is can we contact the speakers or the mentors? So the mentors who are in your group, your team, you're allowed, of course, to get in contact with them through the Slack. So we have Slack channels running throughout the program. We have we have like criteria that they can be in one room together alone, but that's the Stanford University policy for minor. But I want to say that you get in contact with your mentor and instructors from the AIME program who are kind of helping and mentoring you. Whether it's a speaker who attended the Lunch and Learn and you're interested in communicating with them, we ask that you let us know, and then we actually check in with the speakers, and if they have the time and bandwidth, we are willingly and happily to connect you, or to share that, or allow you that you can go ahead and reach out to them. So I think just keeping those things in mind is important. The best way to prepare for what are the best way to prepare and gain knowledge for the summer internship is really again, I think just don't overthink it. Just, think about what you are enjoy about technical aspects, what gets you interested. There's a lot about Gen AI. There's a lot about AI. What aspects of it is interesting for you? Tell us what aspects of it is interesting for you technically. If you have a specific area where you feel you're really passionate about, you're really kind of like looking forward to, give us ideas about what topics are interesting for you in your application. And so I think this is just the best way. And I really just, again, want to reiterate that we are doing our best, and we really believe there's exceptional talent. We're trying as much as possible to support, and we continue to do that. So please don't feel discouraged by the requirements. We have just gone through it to make sure we are transparent on how we approach applications, as well as, hopefully kind of clarify our rationale on how we go around those criteria and eligibility criteria. I know we are at time, but it has, been really an honor for us to be engaging with a number of students and parents over the years. The ceremony, we invite parents to attend and their students, their children presentation. And we have multiple opportunities for interaction, and it's usually a lot of fun, and we really feel humbled by the students' experience post the program. So we are hoping that you will be interested and you will join the program, and please feel free to reach out if any of the questions have not been answered in the webinar or have not been answered in the FAQ that is posted online and the booklet. So please check that and contact us on the email amy.hs-programs@stanford.edu. Johanna, do you have anything?
Yes. So the application period will open right after we end this info session. The link will be on our website on the pages that we had shared previously. The internship application link will be on the internship page. The bootcamp program application will be on the bootcamp page after this webinar concludes. Important dates to remember are the fee waiver and scholarship application deadline is February 21st. And then the actual applications are due on February 28th. We expect to inform students by the end of April And as you know, the program dates are June 16 through 27. Please do note that Stanford University will be on winter closure from December 23 through January 5th. And so we will not be taking a look at applications or emails during that time. So if you have any burning questions, please do ask those before the closure, or please expect to receive a response sometime after we are back here at the university on January 6th. With that, it has been a pleasure sharing this information. There were over 500 people on the webinar this evening, and so we really appreciate your time and your support and your interest in our programs. We really are here to support outstanding research at the university level, but also to really pass on that passion and the technical skills to the next generation. So this is, as Ala mentioned, this is our passion project as a center. And so we are truly grateful and honored to be a part of your journey. And we look forward to seeing many of you this summer or on our next Gen Tech Talk, which will be in January. And information for that, as well as the registration link, is on our website. Any other last words, Ala?
No,
Nope.
we really wish you
Okay.
happy winter closure, happy winter break, and we hope to hear from you in your applications, and please do not stress about it. And we wish everyone all the best, and we really look forward to summer 2025. So please take care.